Hey guys, so I'll be giving you an insight into my trading week. Today is on Monday 15th. So on my watch list, I'm only looking at AUDCAD and CADJPY. I'll be getting my entries using the support resistance. Starting with the AUDCAD, it's in a very clear downward trend. Apart from that, we must get the daily candlestick closing bearish. Still, that doesn't guarantee we will get an entry because I'll still be looking for other confirmations. In the case that happens, I'll be looking for a 1 hour bearish candlestick, which should bounce off at either of these resistance levels. So as you can see, I've marked very many levels, but I'm only interested in the levels that are within my current price range, so somewhere around here. Then after getting a 1 hour bearish close, I'll be looking for something like an M pattern or a double top on the 15-minute time frame. And once that is confirmed, this is how my entry will look like, somewhere at the neckline, which is the middle part of that pattern. And I'll be using a stop loss of 15, targeting 45. So ideally, that's what I'm looking for this week. If I get that, then I'll be getting an entry. If not, then we'll be patient until we find the confirmation. Moving to CADJPY on the daily time frame, my trend direction is overall bullish, so I'm only looking for buys in this market. So before I can even think of getting buy opportunities tomorrow on Tuesday or moving forward, the immediate previous day should have closed as a bullish candlestick, respecting the overall trend direction. This is just to increase the probability of me being right. After that, I'll make sure I identified my few support resistance levels. I mark my levels using the daily time frame and the 4 hour. So sometimes I combine both of them, or I can use either, the one that gives me the most clear zones. My entry should also be within the previous day's candlestick. So let's come and look at the previous day, and I try to adjust to make sure I know where the previous day open was. So I'll only be looking for buys when price comes and bounces off at either of these support levels on the 1 hour time frame, and we get a 1 hour bullish candlestick close. After that, I'll come to the 15-minute time frame and be looking for something like a W, wait for price to come and retest its neckline, then I'll be taking a buy. Without forgetting, the economic calendar is already checked, and I only avoid trading when we have key significant high impact news. Tomorrow Tuesday, we only have CPI for the euro, not in any way trading any euro pair, so that should not be affecting my markets. And I've just resumed trading my 50k challenge with Funded Next. I took my first trade last week. It hit break even, but I lost a few hundreds of dollars because of a very late entry. So currently the account is sitting at just under 1%. Let's see how our week will go. So I just got into my first trade of the week. The previous 1 hour candlestick just closed bullish, confirming to me a bullish momentum. After that, I come back to the 15-minute where I look for my W pattern that I use for entry. Waited for it to come and retest the neckline. Taken the same trade on my challenge account. Here it is running. Stop loss, take profit set. Now making sure I set my break-even alert in case the market gets to 20 pips. There it goes, break-even set. So let's just be patient and be ready for whatever result that comes. So just an update, the trade did come and wipe me out at my stop loss. So after hitting the stop loss down here, I can still take another entry if I get a second confirmation for the day. My strategy works in a way that I can lose up to 2 trades in a day, assuming I do get a proper confirmation. So the price came and bought all the way up, then it formed a second W pattern, which is my first confirmation. We did have this sell, a small buy, we had this drop, and this buy which came and engulfed the neckline of the W. The pattern was completed at 12:30 and I got a retest at 12:45. So before I take the retest at 12:45, the previous 1 hour must be bullish and in support of the overall trend direction. So if the retest is at 12:45, it means the previous 1 hour is between 11 and 12. The 11 to 12 candlestick is here. You will realize it is completely bullish. That means I have my confirmation. So at 12:45, when I get my retest at the neckline, this was a valid entry, and that's where I took my buy position. 20 pips into my target, I adjust my stop loss to break even, which is what I'll just be doing right now. Entry price is 108.592. So now worst case scenario, if this trade reverses, at least it's secured and will not be losing anything. Here's the same reflection on the Funded Next dashboard. The previous trade, which has just closed in negative, is here, negative almost 1%. And currently this is the running trade. So I just came back to the market after a few hours and I found my trade has already hit my target. Here's the trade on the Funded Next dashboard. It's the last trade here, $1,303. Also by yesterday, the account was at about 0.8% gain. We went into a little bit of drawdown. We had a drawdown today of about 0.2%, but we've recovered and now we are back about 2.5% up. You've been able to follow the trade from the first one, which ended up hitting the stop loss. Luckily, we did get a second confirmation, which was also in line with my trading rules. If you remember from the previous analysis, I told you from the daily time frame, we will only be looking for buys anywhere above this blue line, which is yesterday's candlestick open. After that, on the 1 hour time frame, we were looking for a bullish candlestick, which was supposed to bounce off at either of these marked support levels. Between 11 to 12, we had this bullish bouncing off at this support, ended up closing all the way up there. After getting that, we just need a 15-minute confirmation, which is a W pattern. I got my W there, waited for it to retest my neckline, and that was my second entry. It has just hit my target. Today is an example of a day where my first trade hit loss and the second trade recovered. So my support resistance approach is quite mechanical. I just look for the same type of setup every other time. I don't change the strategy, but I do have defined rules that I'm using, and from a data point of view, both my long-term backtesting and the forward testing I've done has always been profitable. When you have such level of confidence with your system and clearly defined parameters, it's just a matter of execution and almost nothing can go wrong in the long term.